Hello, digital card fighters. This is Kyle D from Ride My Avatar, bringing you what I think could possibly be the opportune time to introduce a clan event that would be related to Gear Chronicle. So, as you know, that Gear Chronicle is kind of known for being like the figurehead of Stride. But there actually was a bunch of cards during the G era that made it so that it could appear in Legion. So Gear Chronicle could possibly, as a small enough pool, you could pull from where you could make it so that your deck could be a Legion-based deck. I mean, there's not enough grade 3s, but there's enough Legion grade 3s and a grade 3 backup that could make it so this deck could see play in its form. I mean, you won't have enough backups and everything like that, to be honest with you, compared to everybody else, but we have enough of a card pool where it's like 25 cards and like close to 30-ish maybe if pulled. But this is like me pulling from cards from sets that don't have GB restrictions or anything like that, or isn't Zodiac Time Beast related heavily. So with this, I think I found the perfect card pool to be able to bring into Gear Chronicle where it wouldn't affect sets release or wouldn't be GB restricted, anything like that. So without further ado, we're going to go into the cards I found, and then I want to see if your feedback is, if possible, we could see Gear Chronicle in Legion era. So, as I was stating before, we're going to be talking about the Legion era of Gear Chronicle. So what we're going to start off with is Ruin Disposal Dragon. So he's a Legion grade 3, which you could put as a draw trigger or crit trigger because this deck will draw massively. So when this unit is Legion, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards, and your opponent puts that unit at the bottom of his deck. So when this unit is Legioned, choose. So you get rid of a Interceptor immediately. Very much powerful in what you need, what would help this deck. So when this unit attacks a Vanguard, this unit gets plus 2,000 until the end of turn. So again, this is Legion era of Vanguard Zero, and though this wouldn't be ideal, it could possibly happen. So I'm going to go over the grade 3s first, and we're going to continue that path with the next Legioner. So this needs Steam Knight Zhang. So what's nice about two of these Legions use the same grade 2, and only this one has a different grade 2. So you can definitely just build 3 Legioners, the total of the 3 Legioners as your normal triggers, and then have it come to being that they're all one trigger set. So you run 9 crit and then heals, because this deck will probably optimally draw enough where it doesn't need anything else. So when your opponent's rearguard is put into his or her deck due to the effect of one of your cards, this unit is Legion. Until the end of that turn, this unit gets, when this unit attacks a Vanguard until the end of battle, your opponent can't call grade 1 or greater from their hands to Guardian Circle. So, so basically, there are a bunch, but also this whole deck revolves around, most of the non-GB skills are all related around either drawing or negating PGs, basically. So when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have another unit in your middle column, this unit gets plus 3 until the end of that battle. So not bad. They gain power, but no crit. But being able to shut off Sentinels when opportune, when you swing with crits, is very powerful in this game. So I definitely think he can be definitely put into the game. Next card we're going to talk about is Slow Driver Dragon. So Steam Knight Puzzler Ills 3. So Counterblast, choose one card from your hand, put it into Soul. When this unit is Legioned, you pay the cost. If you do, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, search up to one card from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Choose one of your opponent's rearguard with the same grade as the card you put into your hand with this effect, and your opponent puts that unit at the bottom of his deck. With the ability to cycle everything back into deck on your opponent's field, they're not gaining advantage and they're not gaining graveyard advantage, so it mitigates a lot of decks like Grand Blue, decks that can put back triggers into it like Neo Nectar. So again, this deck focuses on rewinding or removing cards and stuff like that. It just helps massively. And being able to grab with one Counterblast, just to grab the PG you needed, very much helps. So when this unit is placed on ban, put the top 2 cards of your deck into the drop zone. If those cards have the same grade as each other, choose up to 1 card from among them, return it to your hand. That's good, because either it'll fill the graveyard for Legion or not. And if you guys aren't really known what Legion does, it's basically when your opponent's grade 3 and you're grade 3, you can send 4 cards back and then you seek its mate. For the people that don't know, I'm sorry if I didn't explain Legion enough, because you might be new to that concept, so this is another card for you to look out for. Next, we have Smithereen Colossus. So Counterblast 1, when this unit attacks, you pay the cost. If you do, this unit gets plus 3,000 until the end of that battle. Generic, it would be the third option you had. He would probably be your heal at the end of the day, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, any of the Legion mates might be beneficial as heal, but he would probably end up being your heal at the end of the day. So, that's the only other grade 3. So, 4, 12. I would have to find another grade 3. I thought I found enough, but it's tough. I think you would probably have to fill it in with a Cray slot or something. But that's just for one trigger. Next, we have the Legion mate for the second grade 3 I shown off. So when this unit attacks Vanguard, Counterblast 1. If your Vanguard's Legion, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, you put it at the bottom of their deck. So Steam Knight Zang. Basically, this deck is all, like I said before, putting your opponent's cards back. But since this card wouldn't be able to hit your opponent, they might have to add in a subtext where the Counterblast lets you maybe skip the intercept like Aquaforce got. But who knows, they might do something different. Next, we have, basically, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose a card from your damage zone, turn it face up. Distant Running Gear Horse. So with that ability to flip your card up, you're just gaining some adequate ground. Being able to countercharge, because a lot of these cards can cost heavy counterblast, but it's generic. You find it in almost every clan gets an on hit. Hit the Vanguard countercharger at a certain point. So we're going to go into the next one. Oops. This one. I think you can pull Steam Knight Caliban. So when this unit is placed on rear, choose one of your opponent's rear guards. Your opponent returns that unit to his deck and searches for 1 grade less than you call it to shuffle his deck. So basically, this is to snipe starters. That's all he's going to be used for, and about equivalent to what he will do. So I think he's a good pick. Next one, we have Steam Maiden Balo. So Counterblast, when this unit is put into the bind zone from rear, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. I don't see much cards binding much in this deck, but it is an option. I think they could change it around for if they don't want to go the binding route, just to make it so that it's Counterblast 1 to basically draw a card on place. And being an 8K wouldn't too much hurt the deck, but it'd give it options. Here's the other Legion, so Steam Knight Puzzler 3. So Soulblast, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you pay the cost. If you do, until the end of the battle, your opponent can't call grade zeros from hand to guard. So this would just be Sentinels. It would switch over to Sentinel, to be honest with you. That's all they would do. It would be a Silent Tom, but with Soulblast 2 as its requirement. So that would make it a lot more fair to deal with. So definitely I see him having a possibility. This card, not so much. I realized its grade 1 counterpower was not worth it. So Counterblast, when this unit is placed on rear, if your Vanguard is Legion, you pay the cost. If you choose one of your opponent's grade 1 or greater rear guards, your opponent puts that unit at the bottom of his deck. All about putting everything at the bottom of the deck, so their board can disappear pretty quickly. So instead of having, like, against Grand Blue or anything like that, you would just push them into a bad spot. Next we have Prompt Turret Dragon. So when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is Legion, until the end of that battle, this unit gets plus 2,000, and rearguard Counterblast Soulblast when this unit attack hits. Which will probably be switched over to when this hits a Vanguard, because they don't like having free on hits, so you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck, choose one of your opponent's rear guards with the same grade. Your opponent puts it at the bottom of their deck, you draw a card. So that's not bad. Counterblast, Soul Blast. Next, we would have when this unit attacks Vanguard, for each rearguard you have more than your opponent, this unit gets plus 2,000 for each of that battle. Since you're rewinding everything back anyway, this unit can probably get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 if you have a full board and you spawn back everything. So this becomes an 18k on his own. Pretty solid. I see it working possibly. Next we have a generic 10k Smoke Gear Dragon. So Counterblast 2, when this unit is placed on Vanguard or rear, you pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rearguards, and that puts at the bottom of his deck. This would probably be what we have. Relic Master Dragon is basically your Blaster Blade or anything like that. Instead of retiring it, it just goes back to the bottom of the deck. You might not want to do that with Blaster Blade, but any other deck that can't really search out their grade 2 for practically nothing, definitely you would use it on that. Or you just send the starter back. Here's another possible 10k they could put in. Starting on the grade 1, so when this unit attacks a Vanguard, this unit gets plus 2,000 until the end of the turn. Not bad to pull this out. Steam Rider does Cal, so not bad. Choose a card from your hand, discard it when this unit is placed. If the number of rear guards your opponent has is 2 or less, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. See, cycling. Drawing cards helps out. And when this unit attacks, we have Gear Fox. When this unit attacks, until the end of battle, your opponent cannot call grade 0s. Cards from their hands, which would be probably Sentinels, I wouldn't mean, or they'll make him a vanilla and boost his power. You could see a lot of boosts going up in power just to compensate for this, but or they can just change his effect entirely. Who knows? But choose a card from your hand, discard it when this unit is placed on rear, you pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. This Gear Bat of Recasting, not a bad choice. Again, this was really tough because 98% of them are related to Limit Break. And I mean, not Limit Break, GB skills. And needing a stride to be able to do what you need to do ain't gonna help. So when this unit is put into the bind zone from rear, choose 2 of your units to get plus 2k. I don't know if we can actually use it. I don't remember seeing enough. So when any fighter's card is put into bind zone, this unit gets plus 4,000. They probably could switch the bind zones to being just when it's sent back or anything like that. So it's fine. Next, we have when this unit is retired from rear or Guardian Circle, you may bind this card face up. Bind zone. Counterblast. Put this unit into your drop zone. Bind 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose 2 of your units, and they get plus 3k. So this unit could help you with binding stuff. I mean, it's top deck binding, but some of the binder cards do, if I remember correctly, didn't specify them, requiring the top deck. So then we have Soulblast. When this unit is placed on rear, you pay the cost. If you do, reveal 4 cards from the top of your deck. Search up to 1 card with the Legion ability among them. Put it into hand. Put the rest of into your drop zone. Not bad. This is your Legion Searcher. With having 1, 2, 3 Legioners, you're pretty solid. Next, here we have put this unit into soul. When your opponent's rearguard is put into his deck from rear, if your Vanguard is Legion, pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, countercharge, soul charge. There you go. There's your countercharger. When this unit is placed, Gadget May Maikai is placed on Vanguard rear, soul charge. Just because you use so much soul in this, it's not even funny. Then we have Steam Mating Caliban. So when this unit is placed on rear, all fighters choose a card from the drop zone. You may return that card to your deck, their deck. If you do, shuffle the deck. If all fighters return a card, you countercharge. Here's a normal 8k, which isn't bad. That's what you kind of want. Here is when this unit attacks, this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of battle, giving us a little bit of a rush option. And then here's our normal PG. So I think this would be fine for our starting PG. Doesn't have to be overly crazy. Then Soulblast 2, when this unit is placed on rear, you pay the cost. If you do, draw cards. You could really deck out heavily with this. That's why I'm suggesting switching over to crits and doing the Legion stuff. But because you're constantly Legioning, being able to Legion and put everything back, then you're constantly just always in Legion mode. You know what I mean? You can always keep playing Soulblast out the Legion at previous turn, and then next turn rewrite a Legion, put those Legions back into deck, draw into them again, and just keep the cycle going. This deck could be a really tanky deck, just at the end of the day. And then another 8k, and then here is for the possible starter. So, Timepiece Draco Kid is the only starter without a GP skill, so they'll probably pick some triggers and make them have generic C. So, put this unit into Soul, look at the top 5 of your deck, search for up to 1 grade 3 or greater from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put the rest in your hand, shuffle your deck. So, this is what I can see possibility filling in for a Gear Chronicle deck. So, with that, guys, hope you like this informational video and understanding why some of these cards are picked. I mean, besides most of them not having a GB skill, the deck could form pretty well and actually function very well. Being able to draw, send your opponent's stuff back, and then just keep that cycle going with Legions. So this deck could shine and come in to Vanguard. So with that, guys, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you like this content, and I'll catch you in the